Hey WoHos, it's Mom. I'm editing the podcast on Thursday night and Rosie's here, and we wanted to let you know that there was a little bit of some dropouts in the sound in the very first part of the recording, but it's just the part where I give the disclaimers and then say that this week's movie was the 1973 version of The Wicker Man, and then we also looked at the 2006 remake. So that's it. I just wanted to let you know, we know that there were problems with the audio, but we hope it's just that little bit in the beginning, and the rest of the pod is fine, and I hope you listen and enjoy. Welcome to the World of Horror Podcast, Season 2, Episode 7. I'm Mom.
And I'm Mac.
And this is the podcast where we share our love of international horror. Fear is universal, but we're not afraid of subtitles. The thoughts and opinions expressed are ours only. We have no credentials of any kind. We just like horror and enjoy discussing horror movies. Also, these discussions will include spoilers. You have been warned. Folk, cult, classic, The Wicker Man.
Now say that 3 times fast.
Nope. And the 2006 American remake. I don't know what to call it. Folk, cult, classic.
That's perfect. Folk cult classic. Folk cult classic. Folk cult classic. Fucking classic.
Let's move on to our first segment, Mom and Mac Chat. Hi, Mac. How's it going?
Good, Mom. I had a very long day and I'm really tired, but I'm very happy to be here with you.
Aww.
This is me keeping my eyes open.
Oh, dear.
It was a long day. You know what? Not much more I can say than that. My boss, he was having me put together a big batch of seeds to send out, but he only gave me notice that I needed it when I got to work this morning, and it was like I had to weigh out 77 packets. Except no, 77 times 2. Each packet, 100 grams each. I don't know. And then I was like, well, okay, maybe we can get through this by the end of the day. And then he was like, I sent you over the second and the third shipments too. And then I was like, oh. And so there was another 60. And
oh, gosh.
Luckily, people, I did get help, but it was still like, I looked at the time that I was supposed to leave, and I was like, not anywhere close to being done.
Oh, man, that sucks.
Yeah, but you know what? I bet he thinks really highly of me, because, when I forgot my computer, I came back, he was still in my office and doing stuff, and I was like, oh, hey, I forgot my computer, and he was like, hey, thanks for all your hard work today. And I was like, ooh, I'm getting a raise. Remember this.
Yeah, for sure.
And I was really cordial. I was like, oh my gosh, no problem. I'll always be there to help. No. I hate it every second.
Yeah, but sometimes we all have to suck it up and lie through our teeth.
I'm happy to do it if I get more money. I'm not ashamed to say it.
Oh, yeah. Well, today was, tonight, actually, the final exam is due.
Oh, shit.
For the spring semester. So, for the one class I picked up, it was due on Monday, and all 10 of those kids took it. Woohoo! So I didn't have to put any zeros in. But then tonight, we'll see.
Do some people just not take their final exam?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I mean, it doesn't really impact that much because it's a test grade, and it's, it's not the highest weighted category in my case. I mean, okay. I don't know what other people do, but I just consider it another test. Yeah. And they had 3 other ones. So even if you get an A, it's probably not going to do anything for you, really. But it's good to complete tasks.
You should do all the work assigned to you if you're learning.
I'm thinking. So, but it's weird. It's so anticlimactic because, I've been home all this time, and now I'm going to go into the summer and do some more online classes. In the fall, I'm teaching a lot face-to-face. I'm teaching 4 face-to-face and then 2 online.
Jeez.
I know, right? I'm teaching 3 75-minute classes on Tuesday, Thursday. So it's a good thing we record on Wednesdays because I'm not going to be able to, like,
Be a person.
there's going to be nothing left
Yeah. Yeah.
on those days. But that's okay because then I have Fridays off.
Oh, that's nice. 3-day weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that'll be happening a lot.
It's really weird now, like being out of school as long as I have been. I mean, not like, obviously not like an incredible amount of time, but enough. And it's so weird. It used to be hardwired into me, like what the times of the finals and everything was. And now, like, I have a lot of friends in grad school now, and I'll be like, hey, how are you doing? And they're like, I'm in hell. I have to do 8 papers. And I'm like, oh my God, yeah. Oh shit, you do that. But then it's like, the laugh's going to be on me, because then in the next few months, they're going to be like, la 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 la, I got nothing to do.
Yeah, I guess. Well, with grad students, you always have something to do. So.
That's true. It seems like I don't even know what they're talking about half the time. Like when my friends tell me like stuff about seminars and like professors talking to them and then they have to change presentations over, I'm just like, wow, like good for you.
Are you glad you didn't go to grad school? Your face.
I just have like no reason to go, like I really think, it's like, I'm so glad when I was in college, I had this horticulture jobs and work class, and this grad student, David Suchoff, sorry to dox you, David. He's cool. He probably wants to be a famous plant guy or something. And he came in to talk about being a graduate student, and he said to everyone, he was like, do not go to grad school if you do not want, and I mean, obviously this is for horticulture, but he's like, do not go to grad school if you don't have anything to research. He's like, if you're not interested in like a topic and you don't want to research something for like 3 years, do not go. You have no reason to. And I needed to hear that because I just thought grad school was just like college too. It is not. And I'm so glad I didn't spend time, because now, again, I highly respect anyone who goes to grad school. That's awesome. Do your thing. But I just know it's not mine. So I'm just so glad I didn't waste my time going.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. I think I just wanted to drink with smarter people. So I did that for a few years. And then I dropped out and got married. Oh, memories. Anyway.
You just like dropped that like it was nothing.
No, I had that revelation in a meeting one day. I was just like, oh my God. That's why.
You're like, look at yourself in the mirror like,
yeah, that's why I went to grad school. I mean, I kind of went to college because that's what everyone expected me to do. And then I kind of just went to grad school because that's what people expected me to do. And I did like, talking to people and learning shit and being in seminars and stuff. But honestly, I enjoyed drinking with smarter people. So, hey, Mac.
hey, Mom.
What were your favorite movies from April?
Okay. I'm not going on Letterboxd right now to see what I watched in April. I'm just looking at the screen real quick.
It's okay. We have the technology. Why don't we just use it?
You're right. Okay, I actually watched a lot. Okay. Stepford Wives. Had never seen it before. 1975. It's one of those things where you're just like, oh yeah, everybody's told me to watch this, and I watched it, and it's really good. Also scared me. twins.
Can you see my notebook?
I can.
Yeah. Okay.
Then Bad Trip on Netflix. Have you seen that?
I don't know. No.
Okay. Now, this is less of me enjoying the movie and more me enjoying who I was watching it with, but it's, Eric Andre.
Yes.
It's basically like a prank movie. Like him and this other guy, I wish I could remember his name, are like acting out a real movie story, but they're like punking people, like while they do it kind of. And I could barely watch it because it was making me feel so much anxiety. Like it was stuff like he went into like a monkey enclosure and then to take a selfie with the monkey, and then the monkey started like fucking him, and it obviously was a man in a suit, but all those people really thought a monkey was fucking him, and that just is blowing me away. Like, it made me feel uncomfortable. But however, Alan was howling with laughter, and that made me laugh. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, I'm just starting to record the Zoom. Damn it! But I've been recording the Audacity.
We're fine. Let's see. Then I'm gonna say, it's 5, right?
Yeah.
5 for 5.
Well, we can. I decided, you know what? We can just do whatever we want all the time.
That's so true.
So if you want to do more or less, it's fine.
Okay. Next I'm gonna say Pride and Prejudice, a movie I had never watched before.
Which version?
The 2005 version. Never seen it. Never read Pride and Prejudice either, but I kind of knew what it was. But I have this group of online friends, and we have like a list of movies we're all watching. And one person in the group is like, "Let's just watch Pride and Prejudice." I was like, "Oh, I've never seen that." And everyone else had seen it, and they were like, "Oh, Mac, this is gonna be amazing." And so it was just great to have their commentary over it too, because they just like were screaming at different parts, and they were like, "Mac, you gotta watch this part. You gotta watch this part." So that was really cute. Okay, number 4/2, like, okay, the second best, the fourth one I'm talking about. Swallow. Have you heard of this movie?
Yes, I've heard of it. Yeah. Quinn watched it and she was like, "I don't know if you should watch this."
Why not?
I don't know.
It has a Stepford Wives vibe of really delving into heterosexual relationships, which is like from the position of it just really fascinated me. And I don't know, I just feel like even though I am not a housewife, I just feel like a strange kinship with stories about housewives, because it feels like in a way a future I could have had. Do you know what I mean? Like,
wait a minute. Is this the one where she eats different things? Like, she eats a bunch of strange things?
Yeah.
Okay.
She's pregnant and she stays at home all day, and she basically is just like a baby incubator for her successful husband. And she's like going crazy because of it. And also her other stuff. Okay. And then number 1 gotta be The Handmaiden. I watched that on your birthday.
Yeah. Oh, Lord. Is this Park Chan-wook? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And I'm just double checking. Crew. Yes, Park Chan-wook. This is one of my, I don't know if I could ever say what my favorite movie of all time is, but this is definitely like, if somebody was asking me, list like 5 of your favorite movies, I would say The Handmaiden now. Mm-hmm. It's so good.
It is really good.
It's like,
it's a trip. I mean, it's like, there's like all this double crossing stuff in it, like, but then there's this weird sex stuff in it, and
really
like the puppets and everything, yes. and there's like Japanese Korean stuff, and it's just got it all.
Yeah, and
lesbian
being like a
stuff.
Period piece too, like I mean, I just can't get over the scene of, two women, destroying a library full of like male gazy, things. It's like Park Chan-wook is like, listen, you're not a lady, but you did a great movie about in my opinion, about like, the over sexualization of women and whatnot. Like, I feel like he did it in a masterful way, my opinion. Yeah, he's the only, him and Bong Joon-ho are the only directors allowed to make a movie longer than 2 hours.
No, that other guy who did The Wailing
Oh, true.
also
You're
is
right.
allowed. Okay, wait. So is
Tell me
that
yours.
4 or 5?
I think that was 5.
Okay, can you recap them again?
Yes.
Stepford Wives.
Stepford Wives, Bad Trip, Pride and
Yes.
Prejudice, Swallow,
Oh,
and
yes.
The Handmaiden.
Okay, great. Now, which of those 5 would you recommend to me?
Which one have you not seen?
I haven't seen Bad Trip,
Okay,
and I haven't seen Swallow. So out of those 2,
I'd say Swallow only because Bad Trip, again, it is funny, but I don't know if you like to watch strangers in duress, but I do not. It really bugs me, but it has a really cathartic credit scene because it's just clips of them telling people it's a joke, and like that was cathartic for me. But again, I really had trouble watching it, even though I
but
think it's really good. It's yeah,
I'm so glad that Alan liked it, though.
exactly. Like I would have never watched it without him, but he was just like dying. Like, would look at me just like tears in his eyes. And I was like, well, this was worth it.
Okay, well, mine are They Live, which I have never
Ooh,
seen,
I haven't heard of that.
The Void,
The Void, good movie.
Apostle,
I love that movie. Michael
with
Sheen.
my boyfriend Michael Sheen,
He's so good.
Memories of Murder, which
Oh,
I've
I need to
seen
watch it.
several times. It's on Hulu now. So, and The Wicker Man.
Wow.
Yes, I really liked The Wicker Man. I saw it twice.
Wow.
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 Owen Wilson. For you should see Memories of Murder and also They Live. It's so good. I can't believe I've never seen it before.
What is They Live again?
That's the one with Rowdy Roddy Piper. He's the lead, and he finds these sunglasses. And when he puts the sunglasses on, he sees that some people are these like aliens.
What?
And also, like a magazine cover will say "obey" or "don't question authority." And he takes his glasses off, and the world looks normal. And he puts the sunglasses on, and then
Yeah.
he sees this alternate reality. It's cool. There's a lot of action in it too, and it's just super fun. And there's an actor from the 80s. Her name is Meg Foster, and you can look her up, but she just has these crazy eyes. She's a dark-haired person, but then her eyes are almost like white. They're so light.
Wow.
She's in it. She's a terrible actor, but
But damn, her eye's pretty.
kind of pretty, yeah. But yeah, it was a good month. I mean, I had other ones. I had a couple Korean ones. One's called Hawaii, A Monster Boy. I liked that one a lot. And another Korean one called Night in Paradise. And I also highlighted Stepford Wives. So it was a great month.
Same here. I also got to recommend, if you have HBO Max, watch Q Into the Storm. It's about QAnon, and it's like a docu-series, and it didn't get really good reviews, but like me and Alan were like hanging off of it like every second. Like we were like, God, we need new episodes to come out. Like we were obsessed. So
I just went through that. There's a Swedish docu-series called Pray, Obey, Kill. And it's about this religious sect in Sweden. And there was some crazy ass shit that went down. And I just don't get it. We'll talk about it. We'll get into it. But I just don't get cults. I mean, I get them. I understand that there are such things and people follow these charismatic leaders. But I'm just like, why? Why did you do that?
Your life has to be real messed up, I feel like. Or you have to be so alone. Or feel
True
alone,
that.
at least.
Well, Max, should we get into it?
Let's do it. I've been excited to talk about this movie with you.
Oh my God, me too. Okay, so The Wicker Man was directed by Robin Hardy. The screenplay was by Anthony Schaefer, and it starred Edward Woodward, Britt Eklund, Diane Salento, Ingrid Pitt, and Christopher Lee, who did it for free.
What?
Take a paycheck.
Damn!
Yeah.
What a class act.
He was into it.
He was great.
I know, he was really great. All right, so here's the plot.
Hold on, I just have to say one thing. How fucked up you gotta be to name a kid Edward Woodward?
I don't know. It's not great.
Up. No, you can't do that.
Another thing. Okay, so I knew Edward Woodward from The Equalizer.
Okay.
He was on a show in the 80s called The Equalizer, which was basically, this classy, 60-something gentleman who would take care of your problems for you when the police let you down or whatever, kind of vigilante stuff.
Okay.
So, great father figure stuff for me at the time as a teenage person. So, that's how I knew him. So it was really a treat to see him as a younger man. But then I looked up how old he was. Guess how old he was when he made this movie?
32.
43.
What?
I know, and he's supposed to be a virgin, so I was like, He wasn't the first choice.
Interesting.
In terms of casting, but I thought he did awesome.
Love him.
So Police Sergeant Neil Howie journeys by seaplane to the remote Hebridean island Summer Isle. So it's Summer Isle in this version, Summer's Isle in the later version.
One of many interesting choices.
I don't know. I guess they thought it'd be easier to pronounce, but what's so hard about Summer Isle?
Maybe it just sounds so much more Gaelic, in a way. Summer Isle.
Yes, Summer Isle. He goes there to investigate the disappearance of a young girl, Rowan Morrison, about whom he has received an anonymous letter. Red flag, but he doesn't see it as a red flag.
Red banner.
Howie, a devout Christian, is disturbed to find the islanders paying homage to their pagan Celtic gods of the ancestors. They copulate openly in the fields, include children as part of the May Day celebrations, teach children of the phallic association of the maypole, and place toads in their mouths.
That was nasty.
To cure sore throats. I liked it.
He took
Islanders.
He took your ribbity throat, whatever she said.
I know. The Islanders, including Rowan's own mother, appear to be attempting to thwart his investigation by claiming that Rowan never existed. One thing I noticed was he goes into the inn called the Green Man, and it's a really jolly place, and everyone's having a really great time. And he walks in, and then dead silence.
Yeah.
And he just sort of walks until he gets to the bartender. And it's identical to the scene in An American Werewolf in London. I mean, he had to copy it because it's exactly the same. And it made me laugh in both movies. So. While staying at the Green Man Inn, Howie notices a series of photographs celebrating the annual harvest, each featuring a young girl as the May Queen. The photograph of the most recent celebration is suspiciously missing. The landlord tells him it was broken. The landlord's beautiful daughter, Willow, attempts to seduce Howie.
How about the fucking song that every man in that bar was singing about how much they wanted to fuck her, and then the dad's just like, "Yep, that's my daughter."
She's real fuckable.
And she was like loving the attention. I mean, I think that was a great scene because it like there's some obviously you can do bizarre things and you're going to be like that's weird, but this was like so bizarre in like a real way that I was very weirded out. Like I got like
Oh yeah.
legit weirded out by just because it's like this isn't a new thing. Like there are guys who will say like, "Oh, so and so's daughter," like
Yeah.
but like just the fact that they would also openly be like singing a song about legit being like, "Your vagina, we want to fuck you," like, and her just being like, "Yep," and then the dad being like, "Yep," like it was very unsettling to me.
Yeah, I mean, I maybe that should have bothered me. It didn't. But like the woman who was like crying on the gravestone outside naked, that kind of
That was weird.
weird. Um a little fun fact about the father and the daughter. They were only 4 years apart in age.
What?
A weird casting.
I mean,
But
but he looked.
he
I mean,
did, yeah.
he looked like he could be her father.
Yeah, he did. Also, she was dubbed. Like
Oh.
her singing voice, and also she had at least two body doubles, I think, because she was 3 months pregnant. Which at 3 months pregnant, you can't really tell, but she didn't want to be shot below the breasts, so she was fine being topless. But like that dance,
I love that
she
dance.
does, yeah, that's somebody else.
Interesting. And, you know, not to be weird, but I mean, I even was thinking like, I just think especially, obviously a lot of movies have like a naked woman, but like not a lot of movies have just like a naked woman just like shaking her, like wiggling her ass so much in front of the camera. And like, again, that was just like another thing that like was off-putting, but in a way that was like, I mean, like, it's a great scene, you know?
Yeah.
But it's just, it's not as like, I feel like a lot of seductress things have just the same kind of imagery over and over again. But this one was like, she's banging on the walls. She's dancing all over the place. Like she's singing to him. Like this is weird and like cosmic.
Yeah, and it was kind of cool because he, you know, you can really see him resisting this urge, this human urge to get with her. But of course, he is saving himself for marriage, and so he can't do that. But yet, you know, she's
knows it's
banging on
inside
the
him,
wall.
yeah.
Yeah. So, but yeah, every time he goes around asking, you know, do you know Rowan Morrison? And they keep saying, well, no.
It's infuriating, actually.
Yeah,
for me
it
too.
is. It's really annoying. Okay.
Can I say,
yeah.
I really enjoyed, this was something that I just really liked about this movie that I feel like they did a good job setting up from the get. And I guess for context, like I really wasn't raised, you know, with any sort of like religion. And it's like, I know religion existed, but like a lot of religious iconography, like it has significance in the way it has cultural significance, but like it has no like any sentimental significance to me. So I really feel like the director did a great job of being like, look at these rituals, like this, like these Christian rituals that like, to me, like a person who knows little, it's like, I respect, but I am like, you're eating a cracker, you know, like in my head, that's what I'm thinking is
Yeah.
but, and I still like, even however many times people have explained it to me, it's like, I don't understand why you would want to eat the body of Christ. Like, I don't get it. And, but it has no significance to me. And, you know, just, I love that they just spent so much time actually like showing him going through everything, like showing him like kneeling and doing like some kind of crazy looking shit. And then at the same time, he's like, what in God's name are you doing?
Yeah, I do want to talk about that because there's a great line that Lord Summerisle says a little later on, but we haven't met him yet. So anyway, so Willow's doing this dance. He's you know not submitting to his inner desires. He enters the local school and inquires about Rowan among the students, but all deny her existence.
So rude. He fucking erases what's on the chalkboard.
I
It was
know.
like, the audacity. That's so rude. He's like, oh, 1 second. He just erases everything. I was like, you're an asshole.
I know. Well, he keeps saying, look, I'm a policeman. Like, I have this authority. And that's kind of interesting, too, because everyone's like, okay.
All right.
Like, not on this island, but sure, go, But and they also know who he really is, which will be revealed to the audience later. But they're kind of humoring him. And he's all like, hey, I'm a big, important policeman. And they're like, sure you are.
Yeah, I feel like it's really great. The thing that this movie, I mean, I know we'll get into the remake, but what this movie really does well is, like, there's no anger from anyone, There's no sense of, like, how dare you? There's people who are like, I don't think you should, you just obviously don't understand. But, like, nobody's, like, genuinely angry at him, which is weird. It's a red flag.
Yeah, for sure.
And it makes sense, and I love it in this movie.
Yeah. Well, he checks the register of the students, and he sees that Rowan's name is on it. So he asks the teacher about it, and she says there's a burial plot for Rowan. So he goes and he sees it, and then he meets the island's leader, Lord Summerisle, who is the grandson of a Victorian agronomist. And he goes there to obtain permission for an exhumation of her body. And Summerisle explains that his grandfather developed strains of fruit trees that would prosper in Scotland's climate and encourage the belief that old gods would use the new strains to bring prosperity to the island. Over the next several generations, the island's inhabitants fully embraced pagan religion. And there's a bit in there with Summerisle where he's like, sure, I mean, you can dig her body up, but why? And he's like, because I want to prove that she was murdered. Mm-hmm. And he's like, well, no, she wasn't, because we don't do that here.
Yeah.
Like, and he's like, so you're cool with me digging up this kid's body? And he's like, well, yeah, I mean, go crazy, but you're not going to find anything because we're a peaceful, loving people. And so it's sort of...
Yeah, like, have fun.
Yeah, it's dumb what you're doing, but go ahead, do it.
Yeah.
Howie finds the missing harvest photograph showing Rowan standing amidst empty boxes. The harvest had failed. Mm-hmm. His research reveals that when there is a poor harvest, the islanders make a human sacrifice, right? So then he thinks that the sacrifice is going to be this little girl, Rowan.
And he does exhume her body, but there's just a March hair.
Yeah, a dead hair in there. There's a little bit of... There's a kid earlier on drawing a picture of a hare.
Yeah.
So there's all this imagery of, like, fertility and, these pagan symbols. Sort of like they're not drawing a whole lot of attention to, but
yeah,
you sort of get the idea. Well, so he's like, oh, man, they're going to kill this kid. So then he tries to leave the island, but he can't because his plane has been disabled. And so... Later that day, during the May Day celebration, Howie knocks out and ties up the innkeeper so he can steal his costume and mask, that of Punch the Fool, and infiltrate the parade. The parade is so awesome, isn't it?
It's great. It's great. A lovely scene.
Oh my God.
And those masks. Oh my God. Like, these were, like, the costume department did a great job. Like, they were so interesting, like something that I really felt like I hadn't seen before. Like the fish masks I really liked. And like the knowledgeable salmon guy. And I was just like, everybody just was so into having their cool costume and stuff. It was lovely.
Yeah, and they're all dancing, and Lord Summerisle is dressed as a woman, and he's got makeup on his face and this beautiful dress, and he's dancing. And Edward Woodward is like, kind of not really dancing, and Lord Summerisle's like, get into it, man, what are you doing?
But he's just fucking with him
the whole time.
Yeah,
it's such a beautiful thing. And so when it seems the villagers are about to sacrifice Rowan, he cuts Howie cuts her free and flees into a cave. Exiting it, they are intercepted by the islanders, to whom Rowan happily returns. Mm. Summer Isle tells Howie that Rowan was never the intended sacrifice. Howie himself is. He fits their god's 4 requirements. He came of his own free will. He has, quote, the power of a king by representing the law. He is a virgin and is a fool.
That's just the cherry on top of the cake. Like, imagine somebody telling you is like, yeah, we're about to kill you. Also, you're a fucking dumbass. You die with no dignity. Like,
I don't know. I mean, he's hapless, right? He has no idea.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if he's a dumbass. He just, this is a world where he has no, he can't believe it, you know?
Yeah.
The kids, there's like one scene where these kids are naked and they're dancing through this fire. And he's like, what the hell? Like, have they never heard of Jesus Christ?
Yeah.
And this is the line that I love so much. Summer Isle says, himself born of a virgin, and who I believe was impregnated by a ghost.
I loved that line too. Yeah.
Yeah.
But, I mean, basically sums up what I felt like was one of the like massive themes of like the whole movie of just like, you know, well, hold on. I'll save this thought for the imagery that will come later.
Okay. Well, so this police officer, who's of this devout Christian, he just has no way of understanding this religion. And he thinks that it's an abomination and a sin. But
he says something that, and I mean, I don't know. I know that they say this in America too, but I mean, it really did just strike me as like insane when he was like, but you live in a country that is, you know, like, you know, owned by God, or like, you know, something like we all worship God, you know? And I was thinking like, that's fucking crazy. Like, I don't know, like, again, as utmost respect for anybody's faith, you know, like that's everyone's own personal journey. But like, just as somebody who has no, like, I'm not even saying I'm not spiritual, but just like specifically any religion I have no specific ties to be told, yeah, this is where you live. It is like, not that I think that he deserves to die, but it is like very patronizing, and it is like really close-minded of just being like, you know, yeah, you can have your world and this is mine, you know? And
right.
Like, even though you're saying all these things about, you know, Jesus and how I'm, you know, ruining all these things, is like, that means shit nothing to me, pal. Like, no matter how upset you get, it'll never make me upset. So you might as well just like stop caring. And he just can't.
No, not really until the very, very end. Defiant, Howie loudly warns Summer Isle and the Islanders that the fruit tree strains are failing permanently, and that the villagers will turn on Summer Isle and sacrifice him next summer when the next harvest fails as well. Summer Isle angrily insists that the sacrifice of the, quote, willing king-like virgin fool will be accepted, and that the next harvest will not fail. The villagers force Howie inside a giant Wicker Man statue, along with various animals, set it ablaze and surround it, singing the Middle English folk song, Summer is Incumin in. Inside the Wicker Man, a terrified Howie recites Psalm 23 and prays to God before cursing the islanders as he and the animals burn to death. The head of the Wicker Man collapses in flames, revealing the setting sun.
Love it. Okay, this is what I was going to say is, again, I feel like the director did just such a good job hitting home their point of like, when I feel like, you know, it's supposed to be made to look like so insane, all these villagers, you know, like holding hands and singing while this guy's burning, but he's also saying, like, if you just looked at it like for what it is, what the words are, like crazy things and like screaming and stuff. And I know he's dying. Okay. People can scream when they die, but you know, he's going into such like, well, I'm going to be great. And I'm, you know, going to be resurrected and like all this shit. And like, it's almost in a way that I find really similar to the villagers like chanting, because in this way they're like, yeah, we're doing a religious ceremony and like, we're going to live now, you know, like we're going to, you know, and he's kind of saying the same thing. And I just think, Je ne sais quoi, so good.
I know. I mean, yeah, that's the way I was thinking. Like, like, I don't know if you're an alien or, so if you're just looking at this scene and you see these two conflicting ideologies, but really they're doing the same thing. And they're both just as insane or both as, valid. But I like the fact that they're paired like that. And he stays true to his faith, to the very, very end. So that's good on him.
Yeah.
And Summerisle tells him, hey, that's so great that you believe in resurrection because, you're going to get a martyr's death. So
you're going to be a
it's
saint
awesome
too.
for you.
Such an asshole. I love it.
Yeah, he really is. But in such a great way.
Amazing way. Like, because again, it's just, nothing is, everybody hits just the note of like, yeah, we all think this guy's a pompous fool, but there's no like derision, like there is still respect, which, it just makes sense for these characters if they are really thinking, like if you were to think, by sacrificing this thing, I'm going to live, you would treat it with respect,
Yes.
especially if it was part of your religion. So, at no point, again, yeah, they're calling him a dumbass and a pompous fool, but it's not in any way of like, you pathetic, dumb little, and this to me contrasts completely with the remake, the way that the villagers act. I mean, there's a lot of different ways that they do things, but this one I just feel like everybody hit their note like so perfectly.
Yeah, I think it was really cool. And aside from burning in the Wicker Man, I didn't know what else was going to happen in the story. But would you like to hear a little bit of trivia?
Yeah.
Okay, this comes from Mental Floss. The story is set in the spring, but shooting took place mostly in November.
Okay.
So because of this, the art department had to create the illusion of spring by attaching artificial blossoms to bare branches and bringing in fake apple trees, while cast members had to hold ice in their mouths to keep their breath from steaming in the cold air.
Wow.
And just think of that lady again, that naked lady crying on the gravestone.
Wow. I bet she was
So she
cold
was an
as
MVP.
Hell. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. None of the movie scenes were actually shot on an island.
Okay.
The story unfolds on the fictional Scottish island of Summerisle, but filming happened in several coastal locations around the production base of Newton Stewart, Scotland.
They did a good job of making this look like an island, in my opinion.
It did to me, too.
Yeah.
The film's opening aerial images were filmed en route to the Isle of Skye and in South Africa, where there were more blossoming trees.
Wow.
While director Hardy was on a commercial shoot. I thought this was really cool. On IMDb, they gave all these connections from like later films to The Wicker Man. Like Hot Fuzz.
Uh-huh.
Can you see it?
Oh, yeah, totally. Yeah.
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 Actually, Edward Woodward is in the cast.
What?
Of Hot
Who
Fuzz,
is he?
yes. He's just one of the, like, cult members.
Wow.
Also, The Village, which I've never seen, but it's a...
No, I've never seen either.
And then Zoolander. I guess Mugatu has, like, a Wicker Man costume. I don't remember this, and I tried to find an image, but I couldn't. So I'm just going to take it on faith. Smallville, Psych. The movie Brave had like a funny little line where they go to see the witch, but she's at the Wicker Man Festival.
Oh.
Radiohead has a song called Burn the Witch, and the artwork is all Wicker Man imagery. So I just thought that was so cool that it has really made an impact on the culture in a huge way. And that's just a sampling. There are tons of other ones that have made reference to it.
Mm-hmm.
So let's move on to our next segment, Mac.
Do you want to rate it?
Oh, yeah. Oh, my gosh. I always forget that. I don't know. It's between a 4 and a 4.5.
I would say I would give it 4 dead March hares.
I'll give it 4.5 dead March hares. I don't know how we're going to divide up that last hair, but gosh, I really enjoyed it.
I would recommend to anyone.
I would use this in philosophy class.
I think like this movie, I felt like my brain was being activated. I don't know if that makes sense, but like I just feel like, not to sound cliche, but like it makes you think.
It sure does. This list is What Has Max Seen? The Cults Edition. And this list comes from Men's Health,
Okay.
Vogue, and Collider. MIDSOMMAR.
Yes. Love it.
Rosemary's Baby.
Yes. Love it.
Wild Wild Country.
No.
I don't even know if this is a movie or more of a docu-series, but Going Clear, Scientology, and the Prison of Belief.
I have watched a Scientology documentary, but I don't know if it's that.
There's 2 that I know of. This one, and then there's another one called My Scientology Movie that Louis Theroux did.
That was that one.
Yeah. Well, the Prison of Belief is pretty good. It talks a lot about the guy, L. Ron Hubbard, and yeah. But I mean, there's not a whole lot. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, if you have learned a little bit about Scientology, that's probably pretty similar. Okay, Jesus Camp.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, I saw it for the first time too, and whoa.
It was upsetting to me. Well, I really feel like if you want to know why people get into a cult, look at any of those kids that are so into it, because this is, sorry to get on my little Jesus Camp soapbox, but that movie gave me a lot of feelings, just because like they have all, these scenes where, the Holy Ghost is, going through the kids and they're screaming and they're crying and stuff. And it's like, no, like it is objectively true in my opinion that you should give children a space to just be able to like express themselves in a way that is praised and loved, and you're kind of cool for it. And like, so in that way, it's like, yeah, of course these kids are going to love it. And I'm not even like weirded out. Like, I'm happy for them, because like we don't give kids this, like kids do need a space to just like get their feelings out and process their emotions. But this ain't it. Like, this is predatory and it's despicable, and like, and because it's so cathartic and it's so good, in my opinion, for people to do, of course they get fucking attached. And of course, like, they can just be used. And that just like disgusts me so much. Like, I mean, I'm not saying anything new, obviously, but just, again, as somebody who like is a part of some groups that certain sects of Christianity really dislike, it just is comical to me, because it's like, I'm obviously not saying every Christian is like the fucking Jesus Camp people, but let's just talk about the Jesus Camp people. It's like, I'm supposedly going to hell, but like, I don't use children. I don't try to profit off of anyone. Like, I would help a person in need if they needed it. Like, okay, but because, of what I am, I'm going to hell and you're going to heaven. Okay, buddy. Like, it just really is like, how delusional can you be? So yeah, I'm not talking about every Christian ever, please. It's not trying to be offensive.
Yeah, well, I hadn't seen this, and I started watching it and I almost turned it off because I got really pretty upset in the beginning. And one of the reasons, it's just like what you said. The woman herself says it's great to get kids, because if you can get the kids and you get them sucked in, then you have this base that, and I'm just like, you fucking asshole.
Yeah, you're a piece of shit.
I can't remember. Well, anyway, so soon after I saw this movie, I went on a hike with my friend Lainey, and I was telling her about this, and I said, I feel like no children should be involved in any religion. That's what I feel like. Like, I feel like, well, they can be pagans, you know, like they can go, they can go in the woods and like play with frogs and like throw rocks in the water and look up at the leaves in the trees and be in awe of nature. But I don't think, if I just don't think it's good for children to be involved in religion. You know, they can make up their mind when they're adults.
Yeah.
But I think it probably causes a whole lot more harm than it does good.
I mean, yeah, my friends and loved ones who have had, you know, like really like super duper intense, you know, religious teachings. It's like, I mean, to be fair, I am not really friends with anyone who would be like, yeah, I loved that shit. So I mean, I maybe have like a biased section, but every single one of my friends who had that experience was like, I am in some way traumatized by it, you know? And I mean, that's also not just getting into like, religion is one thing. The fucking people you have running it, like just the human beings, that's a whole other bag of worms, and they're bad.
Well, we solved it, so.
Yeah, all right, everyone.
Okay,
No
Hereditary. Hereditary, yeah.
Yes.
Hereditary.
God, love that movie. Saw it with you in the theaters, and it was like it was like a moment in my life, you know, like it was like like Ari Aster is incredible. I love him.
Heaven's Gate, The Cult of Cults.
Yes. That is fucking crazy.
Okay.
Yes, I would say if you are interested in cults at all, watch that, because it is kind of totally different from anything you've ever seen. Like, to me, like I saw The Vow and like the Scientology stuff, and obviously there's like similarities just cults have in general, but like the people in this cult were like on a different level, and like they were talking to people who, I mean, it's like, you know, decades out, who didn't die, and they're like, I'm still in it. Like, I still believe. And it's like, how? Oh my God. But I mean, it was decades of people's life, and then they were just irrevocably changed. Watch that documentary. It's crazy.
Okay. The Vow.
Yes. Okay. Interesting subject. Fuck Keith Raniere. Horribly made documentary. Is like, it did not need to be that many episodes. So much of it is about just the people, and it's like, I do not like, you can smell these people's LinkedIn profiles. Like, they are just like me and Alan were joking, like obviously none of this should have ever happened to anyone. Yes. But these people are just the worst. Like, they are all, it started from all of them wanting to be in a pyramid scheme. It's like, they're all bad people, so you can't really root for anyone. Like, you're like, I don't want you to suffer because you don't deserve it, but you are a piece of shit still, you know? Like, some of the people were really mourning, like, I couldn't do my pyramid scheme thing anymore. Damn, couldn't scheme people out of like hundreds of dollars. Like, you're an asshole.
Yeah, I watched the other one called Seduced, which is just a 4-parter about India Oxenberg. And I feel like watch that one instead.
Yeah.
Because again, you know, you get the same information about what was going on in the cult, but you're right. Like 8 episodes or 10 episodes or whatever the fuck. I didn't watch all of them because I'm like, whatever.
We didn't finish
like,
it.
I think I just skipped like maybe 3 in the middle, but I was just like, because Mr. C and Quinn were watching it, but I'm like, yeah, I just can't this week. I just, you know, yeah, it's too much. Okay, Waco.
No.
Jonestown, The Life and Death of People's Temple.
No.
My Scientology Movie.
Yes.
Martha, Marcy, May, Marlene.
No. What is that?
Yes, you have.
What?
That's the one. That's the one with the girl who's left the cult, and she's with oh shit, who's that American Horror Story actress? Who's like in all the American Horror Stories?
Jessica Lange?
No, the
Sarah
young
Paulson?
girl. Yes, she's her sister.
Okay.
She's not in the cult.
Yeah.
It's have you seen this movie?
I don't think I've seen this movie.
Okay, well, you have to watch this movie.
Okay.
It is amazing. It's, I want to say Elizabeth Olsen, but now that sounds wrong to me. But who's the who's the witch who's in the Marvel
That's
movies?
Elizabeth Olsen.
That girl. Okay,
Yeah.
that girl.
Yeah, yeah.
She's the one who has left the cult. And it's just she's gone to her sister. She doesn't tell her sister, I just got out of a cult. So Sarah Paulson's like, what the fuck? Where have you
Yeah.
been for 4 years or whatever? And then it's just flashbacks to like what was
Oh.
going on in the cult. And Christopher Abbott has a very tiny part. But whew, it is good.
I'm gonna watch it.
Yeah, it's really good. And I think it's on Hulu also. The Master.
Yes. No. Alan watched it, but I know I should watch it.
Yeah. Okay. So a couple weeks ago, when you asked me if I had seen The Founder, I confused The Founder and The Master, but now I've seen both. But The Master is Philip Seymour Hoffman as L. Ron Hubbard, and then Joaquin Phoenix is like his protege, and it's real good.
Mm-hmm.
The Village.
No.
Suspiria.
Yes.
Sound of My Voice.
No.
I'm probably going to talk with that one over with Quinn next week.
Ooh.
It's a Brit Martling. Did you ever see the OA?
No.
Okay, well, same lady, same people.
Okay.
But I liked it's good. Kill List.
Yes. Great movie.
I got to watch that again. Okay, The Sacrament.
Yes. Did we watch that together?
I believe we did. Yes.
I really like that movie. Like, I mean, it's really hard to watch, but the ending scene, like, I guess I'll say I wouldn't recommend it if you want to have a good time, but if you're somebody like me who is strangely interested in just horrible depictions of bad things happening, that's a great one.
And it's found footage, right?
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah.
It's a pretend Vice documentary.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very well done. It's like it's very similar to the Jonestown massacre, but yeah, it's pretty good.
Did you realize that the guy who is like the head is that guy from that scene in No Country for Old Men?
That
When
Wait,
he's-
what?
Okay, in No Country for Old Men, when he's talking. Wait, that's that movie, right? No Country for Old Men the one with Javier Bardem?
Yeah.
Okay. So when he's talking to that guy and he's like, "I'm gonna flip a coin," and it's like a really Southern guy. That is the head of like the religion in the sacrament.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Get Out.
Yes. Phenomenal movie.
Hot Fuzz.
Yes. Scared me so bad I had to sleep in your bed.
Well, to be fair, that one shot of the spear going through what's his face's jaw is pretty
Rough.
awful. Suicide Club.
No, but I tried to watch it the other day. That's on my list.
What happened?
What do you mean?
You said you tried to watch it the other day.
It's really hard to find Japanese movies online. I don't know what is up. I need to get like a VPN or something. They
Well,
don't
if you
want.
do, let me know how that works.
I will.
Because I've been thinking about it myself. The Perfection.
Yes, I really like that movie.
Should
lot.
I watch it?
You Will Be Disturbed.
Okay. The Invitation.
Yes.
Oh
Great
my
movie.
gosh.
Oh, so good.
Oh man.
So tough.
So good.
So good.
Okay, so that guy was in another movie that I just watched the other day, and he played the cult leader in this movie called The Other Lamb. It's very pretty and moody and slow, and he makes a good cult leader because at first he seems very seductive, and then of course he loses his shit, and he's a good actor. I like him a lot. Okay, The Devil Rides Out.
No.
This is very old. I think it's from the 70s.
Oh.
The House of the Devil.
Yes. And everybody that I know really likes that movie. I think I just need to rewatch it because I did not enjoy it the first time. But it feels like one of those things where it's like everyone I know is like, wow, this is a great movie. And I'm sitting here like, I hated it. So I'm like, is the problem me? So I need to watch it again to see if the problem's me.
I think I have a similar problem in that I do not remember it at all.
It's very forgettable.
Yeah, but apparently Greta Gerwig is in it.
What?
Yeah, in a small role.
Oh.
She's not the main girl.
I think she's a blonde girl who gets shot in the face.
Well, let's watch it and find out. Anyway, that's my list. So, shall we move on to Wicker Man 2006?
Oh boy, let's do it.
Okay, so the screenplay is by Neil LaBute. It's based on the earlier version of The Wicker Man, and it stars Nicolas Cage, Ellen Burstyn, Kate Behan, Frances Conroy. Frances, what are you doing?
She still turned it out.
Molly Parker, Lily Sobieski, and Diane Delano.
Did you know that Nic Cage also produced it?
Oh, that makes sense.
It does. It makes incredible sense. So this was actually I guess my 1.5 times watching the 2006 Wicker Man, because I tried to watch it because it's been so universally panned, and I could not finish it. But I actually had an easier time finishing it, and I have a new appreciation for how bad it is. You really need to watch the OG Wicker Man to just understand how everything went wrong.
Yeah.
It's already just a bad movie, and it's again, it feels like one of those movies where it's I'm sometimes are all the people in Hollywood just really stupid? Are they? Are they legit? Do they know what they're doing is stupid? Or did they completely miss the point of the original Wicker Man? I wish I could know. I guess only God knows. Only the Wicker Man knows. But I will say I would still recommend you watch this movie because you will laugh out loud.
Well, yeah. So it's been considered unintentionally hilarious and so bad it's good. If you can do it, if you can alter your consciousness, whatever that means. If you can safely alter your consciousness, I would suggest doing that.
Oh,
I can't.
Okay.
I've lost that privilege, so I don't do that. But if I could, I would. Because this is some fucked up shit.
It's all Nic Cage.
The script
it's not
is
all
real
him.
bad.
It is really bad. But Nic Cage doesn't help.
Yeah.
He's the opposite of phoning it in. He goes too hard. It's I think because he was a producer, they couldn't be like, Nick, that's too much. He probably looked at the take and was like, that's good. We'll do that one. And I'm like, how did they keep the steak? It's crazy. Okay. Also, the story's batshit insane. Okay. So, Edward Malice. First off, your last name's Malice? Come on. Okay. So, Nic Cage is a old cop, and he's he's exactly what Nic Cage thinks a cool guy is, and yet when you see it, you're like, there's nothing cool about this. But he thinks that he's very cool, and I love it. And so, okay, he sees the movie starts with him pulling over a car, and there's a little girl and a woman in the car, and then he goes.
Well, she dropped her doll out the window.
She drops her doll out the window, and then he grabs
and
it.
And he scoops it up on his motorcycle, never stopping.
God, yes, you're so right. Yeah, thank you. It's very cool. He's a very good
Very
man.
cool.
You can tell. I mean, he would stop for a doll. This guy. He stops the car and he's like, "Ma'am, I think you dropped this." Daughter just chucks it right back out the window. Hilarious. And the mom's
funny.
like, "Oh, don't do that." And so he goes to grab it, and then it gets completely obliterated by a semi.
Mm-hmm.
and explodes. And he goes looking for the people. He cannot find them. They're gone.
No. Yes.
This haunts him. There's a lady there's a lady cop that gives him a lot of looks, and what I thought they were doing was saying, oh, look at how this man, he's so consumed by like his own weird thing that he can't even see this woman in front of him who maybe he could have a new life with. No, that's not what they were going for. We'll get to it later. So okay, he receives news that his ex-fiancée, Willow Woodward, who, might I add, the actress looks like she could be playing Nic Cage's daughter.
Yes.
Her daughter Rowan is missing. And she apparently is chilling at the fucking cult that she went missing from. Okay. So even though he's a cop from New York, I believe, he heads on off to Washington State, where these neo-pagans live. So it's when he gets there, he even has to like bribe a guy to even take him. He's like, come on, can you just take me? And the guy's like, I don't know. They're pretty strict. And he's like, well, how about this? And gives him like $30. And, so okay, they go and everybody's like really hostile, like from the get. It's like, do not even step on this island. Complete 180 from the original Wicker Man, which, the ending's not different. So this makes no sense. It makes no sense why they would be like, get the fuck off our island.
I know.
Like, what if he had just been like, oh, understandable, have a nice day. Like, but they're like, get the fuck off our island. He stays because he's like, I'm a cop. Somehow they know he's from New York because they're like, yeah, but we're in Washington. And he's like, fuck you. And he's similar, he's asking everyone, where's Rowan? And they're like, I don't know her. And then he sees Willow. Willow is his ex-fiance. She's been gone, and it turns out, and he's like, why are you here? And she's like, they have Rowan. It's so horrible. And he's like, okay, but why are you here? And she's like, I can't leave. It's very stupid.
Yes.
And again, I just want to say, it's like every kind of things are happening similarly. There's no scene with like the barmaiden, like dancing because he has Willow. Willow's his like, romantic foil, but it's similar things like the May Queen photo's missing. And, he goes into the classroom. Again, everything is hostile. Like when he goes in to talk to Ms. Rose, this part fucking destroyed me. He goes, Miss Rose, oh, another plant name. Like they think we're so stupid that they're like, put it in there. Like Nic Cage says everything, like he might as well be saying like, I enter stage left. What's going on here? Like it's so bad. And he's hostile. There's no religious tones with him. Nothing about contrasting Christianity and this paganism. And also the island is just led by women. And
it's all women. I mean, there are men, but they're completely subservient to the women. But there's hardly any men at all.
Yeah.
And the women are all, that's the conflict between women and men, I guess.
Yeah.
And it's not good.
Like there was a part at one point where, and again, I think I'm giving them too much credit. I don't think this is what they were going for, but this is what I gleaned. I guess I was trying to find something good in the movie. Like, so similarly, to get permission to exhume the body of Rowan, he has to go talk to the lady, Sister Summersisle. And I really liked their interaction actually, because it is interesting that there is this female dominant force that is just only there to confuse and bewilder him. And he's like kind of completely like without somebody to rely on. And he cannot understand why none of the other men will help him or do anything. And I did like, I feel like they went to pretty good lengths to, I mean, just try to portray this guy as like, he, again, hapless, and I was interested in the idea of it kind of being like he's a damsel in distress. It's kind of how the movie was shot, but it's Nic Cage, so it doesn't work. Because he is big and he's awkward and he is yelling at everyone. And he's such an asshole. He exhumes the grave, finds the burned doll. One of my favorite scenes. He goes up to Willow. Because again, Willow is not giving him anything. Red Banner, he can't see it. He's like, the doll, how did it get burned? She's like, what? He's like, it burned, how did it get burned? And she goes, I don't know. And he goes, oh, leaves. It's so good. Just look up how to get burned. You will find the clip.
Is this before or after he tells Molly Parker to step away from the bike? That was my favorite line.
Yeah, when he fucking, like a bat out of hell, like, is going through everyone's houses, and he just is doing it in such, like, he's like Bozo the Clown. Like, it's so stupid. Frances Conroy, she now takes the place of the photographer. She's great. I mean, just when I saw her, my heart lifted. She just is being Frances Conroy. I don't care.
Yes, she's
Love
a
it.
beautiful being.
Yeah, she's ethereal. She's very much like, and I mean, I did love her delivery of when he was like, well, where's the most recent photo? She's like, oh, it's gone? That's such a pity, it's so good. But I only give that credit to her. Nobody else. And I'm skipping a lot because a lot of it is the same. It just is worse. He's allergic to bees. He has a lot of EpiPens. And they all have a bunch of beehives everywhere, which I'm surprised he even got anywhere close to them damn beehives. Have you ever met somebody who's allergic to bees? If you see one bee, they're like, oh, I need to protect my life. I'm going to leave now.
Yeah, well, when he goes to Lady Summersisle's, like, mansion, there are all these fucking bees all over the place, and he's everywhere. Just like, suddenly he's unconcerned with bees, I guess.
Even though he's
it's confusing.
This is a great scene. He's in the bar, because again, all of this is just so different because he's demanding a room, and they're like, well, you can't. And he's like, I demand it. And they're like, okay. And he's so rude. They're so rude back to him. And he sees a bee on like the table, and he takes his mug of mead and smashes it, and everyone goes still. And the barmaid says this amazing line. She goes, now why would you go and do something like that? How do you not leave? How do you not get out of town? And he just goes, that moment, she delivers that line so intensely, so gravely. He just goes, I'm allergic to bees. Oh, okay. So anyway, then it's revealed that Rowan is apparently his daughter. That leads him to go fucking crazy. He's like, I need to get my daughter. Similar, May Queen shit. Oh, harvest was bad. I gotta, help her. And so, it's the day of the fertility rite. He throws everything around searching for Rowan. He puts on a bear costume, which I was like, hello, MIDSOMMAR.
Hello. Nice to meet you.
Hey. And he joins the parade, which it's so funny because, I mean, he gets into the dancing. Like he's killing it. He goes up, he sees a large tree. There's Rowan. She's tied up. She's about to be burned. He's like, my baby girl. Runs up, grabs her. And it's so funny because the Rowan in the first movie is acting her heart out. Like she's like, oh, I was so scared. I don't want to be here, but this Rowan is just kind of like, okay. Like he just picks her up and her face is stone. And so, Rowan leads him back to Sister Summerisle. Thanks, Rowan. Rowan runs back to, Willow. Sister Willow, as actually she should be known, is the daughter of Sister Summerisle.
What?
And Willow sealed Edward's fate many years ago when Sister Willow chose him as a human sacrifice to restore the island's honey production. So many, all the symbolism, the honey, get out of here. And this is insane if true. I mean, it is true in the canon of this movie, but can you imagine of like being like, again, I just want to reiterate, there's none of this like the king. I mean, there is like the hunter being hunted, but none of this cool shit about like the virgin who thinks he's a king, who's actually a fool, who comes of his own accord. You know, it's just more like we tricked you, and now we're gonna kill you. Yeah, like they're gonna die now. And oh, by the way, they kill the guy who brought him on the boat in like a batshit crazy way.
Like what the hell? That was so weird.
It wasn't explained. It was just there to freak you out,
horrify you. This is a PG-13 movie, right? Like this is not an R-rated movie. I believe so.
I
think they blew their wad with the that guy because he's killed, and then his like mouth and eyes are like sewn shut for some reason, and yeah.
I guess it's just to be like women be crazy.
Yeah, bitches be crazy.
Bitches be crazy. And so yeah, they tackle and overpower him. Now this I did not know. I had seen the classic scene of them putting a helmet on Nic Cage and him going, "No, not the bees!" And I was waiting for that to happen in this movie. Turns out that is an alternate ending that was only known when somebody uploaded it onto YouTube. I got the original boring ending, him dying in the Wicker Man. This is one of my fucking favorite moments. Again, I just want to say Nic Cage is saying everything that's happening. He's like, "No, now you're grabbing my legs and now you're holding me down." It's like,
they break his legs, right?
Oh, he's like, "Oh, you're breaking my legs. I can't move now." Like he's saying what is happening, and this is the fucking best part. He's just like yelling at them. He's like, "None of this is real. You're gonna kill me, and it's not gonna even do anything." Like he's just so pissed that he's gonna die. Like he's mad. He's like, "It's not even going to do anything. Your crops won't come, or the honey won't come back." And they're like, "Nah, you're dying." And he's like, "No, it's not real." And again, such a difference from the OG where, like, obviously the captain or Howie is saying, you know, like, this isn't going to bring your crops back, but there's such a different energy to it of just like, he's kind of though accepting his death in a way. He just like, he's not accepting it, but he is just like, "Oh fuck. I mean, like, you guys are crazy and you don't know reason. And I need to at least think about like what I'm going to do for the afterlife, you know?" And Nic Cage is just like, "I'm going to die and it's going to be for nothing. What the fuck?
What the fuck, guys?
What the fuck, guys? Why are you going to do this to me?" Willow looks sad, I guess. He burns. I like the scene. He is, again, Nic Cage is pouring his heart out into these screams, and they're just watching him, just screaming. Years later, epilogue. Sister Willow and Honey, cringe. It's just another girl that was there. Go to a bar and they meet two policemen, with one of them being James Franco.
Who's the other dude? The other dude's somebody.
Was he somebody?
Yeah, go ahead, keep talking. I'll look it up.
Let's see. So James Franco just graduated from the academy. So Willow and Honey agree to go home with them, and I guess you can, guess how it's going to happen into perpetuity. And there's like a really weird moment where Willow's talking to the other guy, and Honey and James Franco are talking. And she says something like, "Can I ask you a question?" And he's like, "What?" And she's like, "Will you take me home with you tonight?" And he's like, "Yeah." She's like, "Okay, great." Okay. Cool.
Well,
great movie.
Hey, wasn't there something early? Jason Ritter, who is the other guy. You don't know him?
No.
Okay. Well, his dad was super famous. What's his dad's name? I can't remember. Come on. John Ritter.
Oh, okay.
You don't know him either, right?
No.
Okay. Yeah. So, yeah, John Ritter. Okay. So, Jason Ritter is John Ritter's son, and Jason Ritter was on a show. It was kind of like one of these CBS shows, like where an angel comes and tells him that he's really special and he's got to like do stuff. But I don't think that show's on anymore. But he's a really appealing guy. But I'm not sure why it's these two guys at the end. But wasn't there a part earlier, like when Nic Cage gets to the island and Willow's like, can you take me with you?
Yeah, Honey says that. Honey's like, well,
yeah. Lily says that, yeah.
But her delivery is very odd. And
yeah.
Everyone's is.
I feel like, okay, I just feel like there was like a breakdown, you know, between like the script and the acting and the directing. Like, sometimes Nic Cage is saying things and the tone is so, he's like the thing about what's in the bag, is that like a shark or something? Like, what? Like, why would you ask that? That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, when he gets onto the island, there's a bleeding sack that these guys are holding, and they're like, "Do you want to look inside it?" And then they just laugh at him, and we don't get to see what's inside.
We never know what it is. It doesn't. And then there's a weird scene in the school where like they've tied a. Okay, so in the original. This is weird, but I mean, kids will be kids, I guess. This girl has taken a beetle and tied a little string around it, and the beetle is like just going in a circle, and she's like, it's just gonna keep going in a circle till it reaches the nail. And he's like, why are you doing that? Why would you do that? And then in the remake, there's a crow.
Yeah.
Like in a desk.
How is that in there?
It's just a jump scare. So when he opens the desk, it's the crow. What the fuck?
None of it is necessary. In fact, I would say the whole movie was unnecessary.
Oh boy.
And I remember what my point was from earlier. The lady cop from the beginning. Oh yeah, guess what? She's in on it too. Are you kidding me? She got a job at the police. She got a job with the NYPD to get this. Like, how is that possible? How do they have the social skills? Like, they've been on this dumb island their whole life. Like, oh yeah, and I guess this is the thing. Is like the women are like, you know, like black widows, and they're going out, and that's. I guess that's when they break Amish. You know, they break Summer's Isle, and they go and they find men to both get impregnated by. And to sacrifice, and so stupid.
Yeah, it's really dumb.
Literally the worst.
Do you want to hear a little bit of critical response for this movie?
Yes.
Well, on Rotten Tomatoes, the film has an approval rating of 15% based on 107 reviews and a weighted average score of 3.5 out of 10.
Wow.
The website's consensus says, puzzlingly misguided. Neil LaBute's update of The Wicker Man struggles against unintentional comedy and fails. Let's see. It doesn't do great on Metacritic. And CinemaScore gave it a rating of F.
Oh.
As of April 2020, it was only one of 22 films to receive such a rating.
Wow.
On At the Movies, the film received 2 thumbs down from Richard Roper and Aisha Tyler, although they both said the film was entertainingly bad. Owen Gleepman of Entertainment Weekly wrote that the original film is overrated. What? But the remake's climax lacks its tingle of madness. Okay, Owen. The original film's director, Robin Hardy, had expressed skepticism over the Hollywood remake and had his lawyers make Warner Brothers remove his name from the remake's promotional material.
Wow.
Wow. According to Hardy, he was given writing credit for the screenplay when he had not received any for the original. Christopher Lee, who played Lord Summerisle in the original film, commented, "I don't believe in remakes. You can make a follow-up to a film, but to remake a movie with such history and success just doesn't make sense to me."
Fair.
Good point, Christopher Lee. Cage himself acknowledged that the film was, quote, absurd. Here, marked in 2010, there is a mischievous mind at work on the Wicker Man, you know? You know what I mean? And I finally kind of
No.
said, I might have known that the movie was meant to be absurd. But saying
Oh,
that now after the fact is okay, but to say it before the fact is not, because you have to let the movie have its own life. What? What?
that's wrong. You're objectively wrong. You can't say like, no, but it's chill. After it, and after I saw how everyone thought of it, yeah, I'm gonna retcon and say that was what I was going for. Fuck you. You produced it.
Oh my God. This movie was not screened for critics. Never a good sign. The sisters, we already knew this, but the sisters' names are plant related or have a nature connection, such as willow, beech, honey, rose, thorn, and moss. Malus is the genus name for the apple and crab apple, also Latin for evil.
Bad, yeah.
Yeah, and rowan is the name of a shrub found in Asia and Europe. My favorite quote, as I said, was "Step away from the bike." But there are lots of memes on the internet if you just look for Wicker Man 2006.
Do yourself
also
a favor, look up Not the Bees.
I didn't see, that wasn't in my version either, so I didn't see that part.
Have you watched
But
it?
I saw it like as a different, as a
Okay,
separate scene.
good.
How would we rate this one? We don't
So-
have, I guess, burned dolls?
How'd they get burned? Dolls?
Well, from the car crash in the beginning,
Oh, true.
which,
Fuck that. Oh, apparently that was stage 2. They're both okay. Fuck this movie.
yeah, fuck this movie. Also, there was a part on the ferry, when he's going on the ferry, that he has this waking nightmare of the semi-truck, like, running over the little girl on the ferry.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So bad. But I gotta say, again, this movie is objectively bad. It's not good. If you say it's good, you have to be joking.
You're wrong.
You're literally wrong. But will it make you laugh? Yes. Again, I couldn't get through it the first time. It was so bad it was good, but then it was also pretty boring. But I was able to get through it the second time. So I think if you're with friends and y'all are just having like a hoot and a hollering time and you just want to laugh at a movie, you can watch this movie. But if you watch it alone, you probably won't find it that funny. So
I think
I'm going to
that's
give it,
fair.
yeah, I'm going to give it 1 burnt doll and 1 burnt doll head. So 1.5.
Ooh, that's
It's not
pretty
without
generous.
value, but it's a bad movie. What say you?
I'll give it 1 because I really wish I had that hour 42 minutes left, back.
I guess like I gotta say I am like I'm not. I wouldn't say I'm like a fan of Nicolas Cage, but I'm endlessly fascinated by his choices, and
Yeah.
you just get a wealth of them in this movie, and they're all bad.
Well, and I kind of liked Neil LaBute up to this point. I mean, he made In the Company of Men, which I liked. I mean, I'd have to revisit it, but I liked it when I saw it. And then there's one with Paul Rudd and Rachel Weisz that I liked. So I was kind of surprised that he directed this movie because it's just a shit show. But
Hot
I guess
Garbo.
that could happen sometimes.
I guess. Don't give him the benefit of the doubt. He fucking fucked up.
Yeah, something happened. Something happened. But and it's an hour 42. It's a little. I mean, if it was an hour and a half, then
Maybe.
it might have gotten like 1.5 burnt dolls. But you're right. It does lag. There's certain scenes where he's running and then he falls into this like water trap and he's like under there all night and like why? And
Oh, God, I completely forgot about that because it was so boring.
yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, just running around to all the different houses and stuff like that all could have been a lot more efficient. But yeah, I didn't care for it.
Fair.
Should we shut it down, Mac?
Let's shut it down. Shut her down.
Okay.
The Wicker Man OG was so interestingly good, and the Wicker Man remake was so horrifically bad.
Yeah.
There's only one thing I will give the remake is I actually was not a fan of the fact that Howie's plane wouldn't work. Because I feel like it's a much more effective thing if he himself like makes the choice to stay.
Yeah.
But like he can't leave, so it's kind of like he's not at this point. Technically, he's not there of his own accord. Whereas Nic Cage, he's just so fucking stupid that he's like, "Oh, I'm just gonna go do this thing." He has like every opportunity to leave. I feel like it's a little bit better to have that just to show how much of a fool he is. That's the only thing I will give the new Wicker Man.
Yeah. I mean, there are, I think, 3 or 4 versions of the Wicker Man also. Like, it was kind of a troubled production because, I mean, believe it or not, I mean, at the time it was considered very controversial and a lot of people didn't want to be associated with it. Wow. So a lot of the outtakes were just destroyed. And I think but like I told you about that one scene with like Gentle Jimmy or whatever that song was. That's like 3 minutes, but apparently there's like supposed to be 12 more minutes. So there's 3 right there. So, but I'm not sure what the other ones are. So, but then there's like one cut of the movie that's like 17 minutes. It's like just real super short. But anyway, we need to get the DVD or something to see all the different versions. But there are lots of different versions out there.
Interesting.
All right, well, let's shut it down, Mac.
Shut her down.
Join us next time when we look at the English/American Demon Baby classic, The Omen, and the 2006 American remake of the same name.
Love me a demon baby.
Before we go, WoHos, we want to say thank you so much for supporting us. It means the world of horror to us, truly. You can follow us on Instagram and Twitter and now on YouTube. We love you. Don't go into the basement.